So, I might have to edit that out later. It's really not a great opening line. Here's what I'm shooting for today. I'm here to talk to you about the sort of writing that we're going to ask you to do inside Sustain. So, when I say inside Sustain, air quotes, what I really mean is the big picture writing. So one of the things we've recognized on our team that's going to happen is that quite a few of us will be asking you to write things. Now you already know that you have final product writing of different sorts due in different classes. So if you take my English 134 writing class, you're being asked to write essays. If you're taking the history class, you're having to write some micro themes, that sort of thing. But this kind of writing, when I say writing inside Sustain, what I really mean is the blogging that we're going to ask you to do. And it's the writing that we're asking you to do for yourself, not for an outside reader. Now, potentially later on that becomes for an outside reader like your friend within Sustain. So we could say that a blog is like a half a step up from a journal, only to the extent that we'd be willing to show it to somebody else if we decided. So I want to show you today a couple of things within Mahara, which is the ePortfolio tool that we've decided to use inside Sustain. Inside Sustain, it makes it sound like a Tupperware container. I apologize for that phrase. But I wanted to show you Mahara and then give you a couple of tips about how you can manage the writing that you're doing within the blogging tool. This is so that if I say to my students, I'd like you to reflect on your project groups, and then you go to your next class and Tom says, I'd like you to reflect on your project groups, and then you talk to Pete and he says, I'd like you to reflect on you get it. You have a way for organizing all that and for not having your head blow up out of frustration. Okay, so we're on the Mahara site. Notice that you've already been given the link. It's a little different than the standard Mahara link. So it's sustainslow.calpoly.edu. It's right up here at the top, blah, blah. Okay, so you're in Mahara. You're going to log in, right? There's my name and my password. You can't tell what it is. Don't try to hack me. Okay, once you're logged in, right here on the first page, where I want you to go is, now see, Linda knows how to do this special thing with the orange dot. I'm not as advanced in Camtasia. Don't judge me. I'm learning. Okay, but see okay, there's the hand. Woo, see okay. I'm pointing to this thing down here, publish a journal. Now let me just give you 32 cents about what I think about Mahara. Nothing personal against the makers of Mahara. Mahara is an open source tool. The good news about open source is free. Right? The bad news is open source, I'm going to judge, I'm sorry, tends to be made by people who don't need a lot of help with interface and so can be more confusing to use. So I'm just saying, if you're a person who likes a little bit prettier interface, hold your breath and go forward. You will figure it out, okay? So, so the first thing to recognize is that Mahara uses two different words for blogging. They call it a journal and they also call it a blog. So just know that going in. You're going to see, look, there's the arrow. You're going to click here, publish a journal. When you click there, and this part you already know about, it says journals. And I wanted to show you first a couple of things. One is, I would suggest that you set up two blogs. One is a blog to use inside Sustain, and then another is a blog, I called mine Ginger's Private Journal. Seemed like a straightforward title. Okay, this is for any kind of blog entries that I want to do or reflecting that I do that I don't want to make public, because I can later on decide about who to invite into these blogs separately, one at a time. So I could decide, for instance, with my private journal to just say I'm never going to let anybody in there, and I could make some agreements with my teachers about how they would know that I had done that work later on. We'll worry about that part later. But start by setting yourself up with two different spaces. So to create a blog, and again, so far this is probably repetition, but I wanted to show you something kind of nifty. Create journal. I'm going to create another one. The blog I'm setting up to show tags. That's the name of this blog. So blah 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 blah. That's what I have to say. Now, if I've said blah 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 blah, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I was really thinking. I'm going to reflect, thinking about all that we talked about as a group today, and it really challenged me. Okay, so then I'm reflecting. You see that? Okay. Notice, if you didn't already watch the thing on free writing, go back and watch that. The kind of writing I'm doing here is the kind of writing where I'm just trying to figure out what I think about something. So I'm going to write a piece here, right, at whatever pace. I like to go really fast before I have time to tell myself that my ideas are really stupid. Write really fast for your blog entries. That's perfectly fine. And then this is the thing I want to show you about organizing. Go down here to tags. And what we'd like to ask you to do is for you to be in charge of keeping your journal organized for us. That's handy for us. I think you noticed that. This will work too, so that if you get asked, for instance, by more than one of us to blog, for instance, about projects, or if we ask you about a similar topic that would feel like to do it twice would just be purely busy work, you could tag it for more than one of us. So at first I want you to go down here to tags and enter tags, set up basic tags that will be for the classes you're taking. So for me, I'm taking 134. Maybe I'm taking history. Sorry, Tom, I don't know the number. It is not because we're not friends. 432, I made that number up. So you list your course numbers down here. Physics, right? I'm really smart in physics. 477, right? No, that's not. That was bad because smart. Oh, no, I'm going to have to edit that out. Okay, physics, whatever it is, right? 131. I'm making these numbers up, but you get my point. Use the tags to organize your entries by class number. Now, what's really interesting is that later on, if you start to see themes in your reflection, you can double tag something. So you could list something, for instance, as if you were writing about challenges you're facing inside, or fears that you have, or the things that bug me the most. That would be a tag for me. Annoyances might be a tag for me. See, I just put myself down to physics 13. That's more kind of where, okay. Annoyances would be another category. So you can think about tags like kind of file folders, basically. And I can take one blog entry and I can put them in more than one spot. If I click Create Journal, then what will happen now is that when I want to go back and write a blog, I can go in. So I'm going to go gender. I can go into a blog I've set up, the blog I'm setting up to show tags, right? I can click New Entry, okay? My title is going to be something really smart, like reflection number 1, okay? More typity type. And when I go down here, show my tags, I can choose, I can say, I'm gonna do this for my class, and also I anticipate this thing of things that annoy me. So I'm going to double tag it, and then I can save it. Later on, we can look at how to publish the blog and all of that. For today, really my thought was to tell you this thing over here, what we're shooting for when we ask you to blog and sustain. To blog, not to write about all writing, but blogging. 1, that you're, that you're writing to figure out what you think. Think. What you think. This is the beauty of writing, right? I have this tool beyond conversation that helps me figure out what I think about something. That's what the blog is for. Number 2, that you manage the organization of your blog across classes. We are asking you to do this. And I'm highly suggesting that you do it early. Oh, look at there, I even misspelled reflection. It's okay, I'm fallible. I'm okay with that. Okay, and then there was a third thing. Oh, okay, sorry. You manage the organization of your blog across classes with tags. That's the tool we're using. Okay. And then there's a third thing. No, but see, for me, sometimes I don't have 3 things to say. I don't live in a 5-paragraph essay. Okay. I think that's enough for now. We want to use Mahara for a blog. We want you to be thinking, oh, I know what the other thing was. It was, we will, oh, I'm not yelling it. I don't need all caps. We will be giving you big questions. I should put quotation. Big, capitalized maybe? Big questions to consider. And the blog is the place to do that too. So maybe one of your tags is going to be big questions, right? This is your tool, the Mahara blog, for you to think about what you think. Later on, we'll talk about how do you make what do you want to make public, and then maybe could we consider how we could respond to each other in our processing of what we're doing. That's enough for now. Where's the, I just got to find to turn the thing off by the, and I just really want to quit. Oh, but if I quit, oh man, where's the off button? Linda, you're not here to, stop recording. Take it easy.